Thank you so much for speaking to us. On Argentina's President Javier Milei says that the country's economy is above before. This bold prediction comes after Argentina secured $1 billion in international aid. Milei says will drive the country towards the strongest of the next 30 years. The financial backing includes from the IMF $12 billion from the World Bank and another $10 billion from American Development Bank. Speaking on national television, Milei as a turning point for Argentina's finance minister, Luis Caputo, also said that arrive in Buenos Aires within the next 60 days, including $12 billion tranche from the IMF to stabilize. The World Bank has already pledged $1.5 billion in near-term funds, while IMF chief Kristalina Georgieva praised Milei's impression that the aid package reflects international confidence in economic reforms. Milei, who is a anarcho-capitalist, has pushed deep spending cuts since this new wave of financial political victory. One Milei hopes will help revive Argentina's economy. Let's listen in.
Estabilidad y el crecimiento a largo plazo. La economía real de los argentinos de dicha estabilidad antes.
Professor Madhav Nala of the Sunday Guardian joining us on the program. Professor Nala with us, sir. Pretty much it's good going for the Argentinians, but the fact of the matter is there a precedent from the past, sir, in your memory, where a country has, done well economically after securing a loan of about $50 billion?
Well, I'd like to point out to the contrary, which is that countries that have basically taken the IMF medicine in exchange for the added sweetener of a loan. Remember, it's not a grant; it's a loan. They have suffered. History shows that. Now, as far as Argentina is concerned, Javier Milei says he's an anarcho-capitalist. Possibly, he will not mind what is very likely to happen, which is the dollarization of the Argentine economy. And I think that is the only way that that is going to develop where the Argentine economy is concerned and currency is controlled. Once you liberalize currency controls, people will then buy up dollars and store it. Now, the important thing is to make them feel secure and to make them feel that dollars will not be expropriated. Otherwise, they will find various ways and channels of taking it abroad, so that what happens is foreign banks in foreign countries will get the benefit and not Argentina. Javier Milei is a man who is quite good at thought things through, Vinny. So I think, frankly, he will anticipate the de-pesoization of the Argentine economy and the dollarization of the Argentine economy. Well, that's one way of going, but the only point is that the central bank loses all control. But in any case, central banks are going to lose control, because the more the digital economy grows, the more certain systems of payment grow that are outside the central banking system of the whole world, the less the effect of central banks. So frankly, the influence of central banks, thanks to technology, is destined to fade out over time. Milei will simply be accelerating the process. So I think it's indeed a very brave move, but it is definitely going to lead to the dollarization of the Argentine economy, and if possible, and I think that could be a route. Why? Because you've got a decoupling from China. You've seen very clearly how Trump is now escalating the trade war on China. Now, the problem facing Xi Jinping is if he caves under and he succumbs to Trump, then he's seen as weak. And in the CCP system, well, that's all that they're waiting for, to change him. So the reality is that it's become completely uneconomic to produce in China. So Argentina will, under Milei, I'm certain Argentina will work hard on ensuring it becomes an attractive alternative destination for the industries that are decoupling from China. Milei is definitely a visionary, definitely a reformer, and if he does that, then the Argentine economy will get the huge benefit of a lot of investment coming. And by the way, Vineet, the same applies with even greater force to India. India is also likely to be the primary beneficiary of the decoupling of units, manufacturing industry, tech certainly. I mean, Apple and all these companies that have invested heavily in China for components, they have all lost huge amounts of market cap. So the reality is China is no longer economic. Donald Trump, I think, is going to stay the course, which means, frankly, that the dollar is going to basically continue as a global reserve currency. And that means that companies will have to decouple from China and dealing themselves from production in China. And Argentina, frankly, offers a good base. Not at all as good as India, definitely, but definitely a good base within South America for that kind of decoupling, Vineet.
Right. And Professor Nalapat, you've already covered what I was going to ask you. The good news is here that one more country has been saved, from the Chinese debt trap. And that's exactly what I was going to ask you in my next question as well. And this is a big deal, considering the fact that China has always had its eye out, for volatile situations such as this. And Argentina perhaps has, gotten the better of them.
Well, I'd like to agree with you. The fact is the Belt and Road Initiative is creating not only huge debt in these countries, and frankly, that's being sovereign countries, they can repudiate and walk out of that debt anytime. I mean, they can announce that that debt is going to be repaid in 99 years without interest, and China can do nothing about it, whereas the Chinese have incurred a huge amount of expenditure, which is really costing their economy quite a lot. And as a consequence of Donald Trump and the fact that he is very much committed to ensuring the end of the expansionism of China, they have also got to vastly increase their defense spending. So altogether, frankly, in my view, the Chinese are not entering into a comfortable phase. And yes, you're perfectly right. The Chinese factor is very important. The Belt and Road Initiative has cuts both ways. It cuts the countries that are taking the BRI money, and it hurts China by the huge amount of money it is spending on the BRI, money which a lot of which is likely to go up in smoke beneath.
Always a pleasure having you, sir. Thank you so much. All right. Well, over the